What's going on, people? It is approximately 4:40 a.m. on Saturday, April 5th, 2014. I am just getting up, so I ask everybody to commit in advance. When I tell you what's going on with this thing, you'll understand. What we had is actually 13 members, and I added myself to make 14 to round it out. I currently have two lists of all the names, bam, and bam. I'm going to cut up all the names, number 1 and number 2, okay? 2 boxes, first list, second list, in this bucket. Let's shake these up a little bit. Here we go. The name of weekly homework assignment number 41 is called I Challenge You. I'm going to pull a name from bucket number 1, and I'm going to match you up with bucket number 2. And what you have to do, according to what you know about that person's production skills, the time that they've been in the community, blah blah blah, you have to challenge that person. You issue them a challenge, like, hey, I want you to do this. Number 1. Oh, all right. I'm the very first. Legacy is who I'm challenging. Willie Chill, 18th Dynasty. Legacy, the phenomenal B. Withers. Third degree, he's challenging Fields. Hypnotist or Hypnotist is challenging third degree. 18th Dynasty, Gold 007. Necromantis, Cricket Mystery Jazz. Fields, Elliott. Stephen G. Nelson, Manzilla. CMJ, Cricket Mystery Jazz. It would appear that I pulled myself for CMJ. B. Withers, Necromantis. Elliott, Stephen G. Willie Chill, Hypnotist Clark. So let me get started on this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. What is good, my people? Welcome back to the Computer Music. Welcome back to Computer Music Academy's weekly homework podcast. I am your host, Tashir Rasay. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Welcome to a very, very special episode. If me stumbling over my words in the intro is any indication, this is going to be very, very, very nice. You saw the intro before the intro. That's what's going on this week. I challenge you. So I basically pull random names from one bucket, match them up with another, and that person had to challenge that person as well as receive a challenge from another person. I am very excited to get things started. I'm not going to talk much. Shout out to 18th Dynasty for the intro. Very nice job, sir. Let me shut up because we have 14 submissions, the largest amount of submissions we've had in the last year of the CMA weekly homework assignment. So shout out to that. Let's stop talking. Let's get it started. My man representing Detroit, third degree, was challenged by Hypnotist. Well, formerly known as Hypnotist, inside joke, was challenged by the Hypnotist. He sent him a link of a painting and told him to imagine the elements of the painting actually had sounds and to use those sounds to create a track. This is going to be really dope. Third degree, let's get it in. Third Degree with his challenge from the Hypnotist. Yo, I gotta give it up. That's pretty dope. I like every element of that particular track. I mean, I know Third Degree uses Machine, and I'm all Machine all day. I'm just wondering if he had like other virtual instruments, be it Omnisphere or Contact or something else that actually had slightly better instruments, because the factory instruments in Machine are actually really good, but some of them they definitely need some tweaking or some stacking or something like that. But once again, I really enjoyed that track and I like everything that he did with it. I like the minimal drums or percussion that it actually had. I definitely loved all of the pianos and organs and of course that bass. That was pretty dope. So nice job on that, sir. All right, let's get it in with my man Fields, who was challenged by Third Degree. The I can't talk today. By Third Degree to create a beat with nothing but pianos and drums. Interesting. Let's get it in. Yes, yes. Representing Detroit, Michigan, my man Fields, checking in for the year of 2014. His first submission. Better not be his last because I know where he lives and I will go visit him. Let's put it like that. Anyhow, his challenge was to make a piano, keyboard, and drum track. And honestly, that's dope. That definitely took Fields out of his comfort zone or his realm that he normally rocks in. That really sounded like it could be in a movie, be it not necessarily a chase scene, but like a follow scene on foot, or you sneaking up on somebody or something. It definitely gave me a feel that it was of a movie or from a movie. I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed the snare and the kicking the snare in the background that had the long tail reverb on it. That was an excellent choice. That's what really puts me in that mood. Like, yeah, this is in a movie. This is really dope. So shout out for that, my man. Very nice. Okay, coming up next, our man Necromantis was challenged by B Withers, aka Urban Audio Legend, to do a drum and bass / jungle track. Let's get it in. Yes. North Carolina represent. Necromantis with his challenge from the Urban Audio legend. That was a very, very nice. I don't even want to say attempt. I think when you say attempt, I think you're trying to shortchange somebody. So I don't want to say attempt. That was definitely a really great Necromantis doing D&B jungle type beat. I thought it was really, really dope. I liked all the sequencing. I like all the instruments used, the drums. I especially like the painting on, I believe it was a hi-hat that was in my left ear. Sounded really good. My only complaint is it sounds a little hot, sounds a little distorted. Now, I don't know if that was the whole point that he went for that, maybe put some kind of, because I know he uses Ableton, and I don't know if he actually put a distortion or like a redux plug in on the channel to make it sound kind of crunchy. That may be the issue, but it just sounds like that to me. It sounds, I don't know if it was purposeful, it was on purpose or not, but either way, really like the track. If the distortion wasn't where you were going for, I would definitely say take another look at it, listen to it, and just kind of, mix it again, level everything out, make sure nothing is peaking, nothing is flatlining, and and not too crunchy. But other than that, excellent job, my man. All right, moving on to Nelson Manzilla, who is challenged by our man Stephen G. Stephen G had a really, really, really dope challenge for him. Sample a song by Swiss jazz musician, and I hope I say this correctly, Andreas Vollenweider. I think I'm saying that right. So sample anything from this musician and build a track around that. Nelson Manzilla is finally on the podcast with us. So let's see what he's going to do with it. Nelson Manzilla. I told you last week, you give Nelson something to do where everybody else is going this way and he's going to go this way. And I love him for that. That was really dope. Once again, that's that cinematic sound right there. That is really dope. I've never heard of this Andreas Vollenwinder guy before, but you know, if Stephen G knows about him, then he's got to be quality. So that was I'm not familiar with any of the samples of his work or anything, but that was definitely quality what Nelson did with his work, and I'm very, very impressed. I really liked how everything built up and it swelled, and then it just boom, and then it went back down and it got a little quiet again. And it actually had like 3 acts or movements, and every movement was something entirely different. So shout out for that, my man. Keep doing what you're doing. All right, moving on to the UK. I'm wanting to hear this one. This is Mr. Legacy, challenged by yours truly. So Mr. Legacy, you know, he and Crooked Mystery Jazz, they do a radio show on differentdrums.co.uk on Thursdays and sometimes Saturdays. And, you know, they do mostly drum and bass along with some house. Now, I don't want to say slight techno. And then, of course, sometimes, like before they get things started, they throw a lot of hip hop, man, like classic hip hop. And I know Legacy has a huge appreciation for the classic hip hop. Being from the UK, he may not have heard a lot of this stuff while it was happening over here. Like, for instance, I told him to create his dirtiest, grimiest 90s East Coast boom bap beat. And I know he has a huge appreciation for that. So he may not have heard that when it was going on over here, but he's hearing it now and loving it now. I said, well, this is your thing. Let's do it. So let's get to Mr. Legacy and see what he did this week. Mr. Legacy. Holy crap. That was excellent. Oh boy. When he nailed it. He nailed it. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. I mean, the drums, the sample, I mean, the sequence, the sample, and well, the drums also were down sampled, and they sounded kind of grimy, like 12, maybe even 8-bit, but I'm gonna say 12-bit. It sounded really great. I love how he sequenced it. I love the samples that he used. I love the way he just laid it all out. That was excellent, my man. Whoa. I need to see more of that from you, for real. Just on a voluntary, I'm making beats today basis, that was excellent. Man, great job. Great job. All right, moving on to my man, 18th Dynasty. Speaking of the East Coast, we got Dynasty being challenged. And this is so funny because they got pulled together. Dynasty is being challenged by Gold 007, and Gold 007 is being challenged by 18th Dynasty. So this is 18th Dynasty's track. And Gold 007 said, I want to take you a little out of what you normally do and have you do an experimental / electronic type track. Dynasty has held his own coming out of his comfort zone before, so let's see what he does on this one. Right. New Jersey's own 18th Dynasty with his submission for week number 41. That was actually pretty dope. My only issue is not necessarily sure if that would be classified as an electronic track, but it's definitely experimental. So I will give him that. Very nice job. Definitely stepped his drums up this week and stepped up his EQing and mixing overall. The track sounds nice and full. Everything is present. Loved it. Loved the sequencing. Loved the feel. Once again, something that I can see in a movie or maybe even a commercial. Loving it. Excellent, excellent job, my man. So now, moving on. I was waiting for this one also. Coming up next is our man Willie Chill, who, if you remember from last week, he's only been at CMA for, this will be his third week, his second submission to the weekly homework assignment. And he's being challenged by another slightly new guy, Nelson Manzilla. This is dope. I like this particular challenge. Sample a track from Italian composer Ennio Morricone. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Forgive me if I'm not. Morricone. The composer of The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. That Western. He did the soundtrack and many other movies, as far as I know. Take a sample of one of his classic soundtrack songs and build a track around that sample. Willie Chill, it's on you. Let's go.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow, or it can crash in water, my friend.
Yes. Willie Chill doing his thing for week number 41. Weekly homework podcast / assignment. I challenge you. So that was from Nelson Manzilla. That was actually a really cool challenge. I liked when I saw it. I was like, okay. I see the potential in this. Now, we know Willie is brand new, and we know he's still fairly new to making beats. I like the sample he chose. I like where he was going with it. My only issue is it's very hard to follow, number one, because at some point you think it's kind of like a kicks, you know. I don't even want to get into all that. But one time you think it's one pattern and it switches up to a totally different pattern. And if it's totally different patterns, that's fine. But the two different patterns had two different moods. And it's like, okay, I want to nod my head, but I can't actually find it. Some of the kicks were off slightly. Not sure if you actually quantized that after the fact and everything got thrown off. Not really sure at all. I do like where you were going with it. I definitely want to say it definitely requires some more elements to it, you know. He said take the sample and build around it. And I mostly heard the sample with drums on top of it. Nothing wrong with that, but definitely want to have more around the track. Be it a bass line, be it, you know, other strings or other elements or other pieces of that particular song you sample from. I know that Willie is just starting, and I'm not even considering myself going hard. And I'm definitely not going to be soft on him, because the only way you're going to get better is if everybody tells you the truth. We don't do yes man at CMA. We will tell you, no, dude, you need to do this. So definitely, I like the attempt. I like where you were going with that. I would like to see you go back and do it again. and actually add more to it, tighten it up, and give it what it needs to be. Help it reach its full potential. Real talk. All right. Moving on to Crooked Mystery Jazz, who was challenged by our man Necromantis. Necromantis challenged CMJ to pick, well, actually, he sent him links and files of 2 Tool songs. Now, if you're not familiar with Tool, they're an alternative metal band, I guess you can say that. And they came out like what, mid to late 90s, and I think they still rock today. But I know that's Necromantis's, his field. That's where he is. So he told him to take these 2 particular songs and flip them and turn them into, he basically do a sample mutilation as we do. So I'm very interested to hear Crooked Mystery Jazz taken way out of his league. Let's get it in. Boy. CMJ. Man, that was nasty. I don't know many songs from Tool. But dude, those songs that Necro provided to him had to have a little bit of everything because man, he pulled so much out of there. He had like what, 3 different change ups, 3 different patterns, maybe even 4. Man, I love his chops. His chops is sickening, and they are getting worse, I guess you could say, week after week. I mean, last week's it should have been an indication that this dude is definitely stepping his game up as far as his chop game, I should say. And then this week, that was just insane. I loved everything about that, man. Excellent job, man. I don't have anything else to say. I'm moving on. All right. Moving on to our man in Tampa, Gold 007, who was being challenged by the same guy he challenged, coincidentally. 18th Dynasty. I love this challenge. I cannot wait to hear it. Dynasty challenged Gold to make a Run DMC-esque track, complete with like the old school guitar riffs and scratches and stabs, and even told him to do a guitar solo in there. Let's get it in. Yo. Redemption. So we had our hangout, as we normally do. We do it monthly. We had our hangout this past Sunday, and Gold was, he was just going over how he said his track, that he submitted last week. He didn't really like it, and then, even though everybody said that they actually liked the track, he had a little negativity about it. This week, this dude came back with a vengeance. Holy crap. Easily his best track since he's been here. Man, I liked every little piece of that. That is incredible. And hopefully, if you know music like I know music, he told me it, but I would have picked up on it anyhow. He actually has interpolations of Stairway to Heaven. Easily one of the greatest songs of all time. And it's like, 7.5 minutes? Something like that? Great song. Anyhow, if I'm not mistaken, he played all of that. The bass, the guitar, especially the one solo line. I definitely know he played that. But he did all of that, including the scratches. This dude just killed it. Excellent job. Excellent job, Gold. That is easily my favorite track by you, and I'm going to bump the hell out of that once I finish this podcast. Trust me. Great job, my man. All right. Moving right along to our man, the Hypnotist, a.k.a. Hypnotist Clark. Inside joke. The Hypnotist was being challenged by Willie Chill, But for some reason, I didn't receive the challenge, so I have no idea what's happening in this beat. Only thing I'm going to say is, let's get it in.
What are these things?
The Hypnotist.
What are these things?
The Hypnotist, boy. So, like I said, we had our hangout earlier in the week, and we were just kind of kicking it around. And one of the things that Hypnotist said to me stuck with me. And he said that towards the end of last season, so to speak, the last few months, that he really decided to get serious, and he felt like that he could do this for a living, and actually, better his life with creating music, basically. And I said, you know what? I can tell, because all of your past submissions, your recent submissions, have been killer, and this is no different. This dude is definitely on a mission. Now, it would be nice if I knew what the hell the challenge was. Thanks, Willie. But whatever it is, it seems like Hypnotist killed it. I am very, very impressed with what this dude is doing, and I just want to continue to see. I want to see him continue to grow as the year progresses. So shout out for that, my man. Very, very nice job. Moving right along to our friend representing Quebec, our man Elliott. Still somewhat of a new member to CMA, still very, very new to beat making. He was challenged by our man Fields, and Fields being from Detroit just totally makes sense. Fields challenged Elliott to make a house track. Oh boy. Let's get it in. Boy. Ooh. Elliott. Now, me and Elliott, we talk pretty often, a couple times a week since he's been there. And I know the circumstances in which he made this track, and he made it. He actually made it pretty quick. Holy crap! Everything about that track is killer. This dude has only been making beats, as far as I know, I'm going to say less than 6 months. Okay, and listen to where he is now. Imagine where he's going to be in another 6, another 12, another 18 so months and moving on. This dude is moving. Everything about that track was stupid. He took the advice too. He definitely stacked his drums and stepped up the EQ in this week. So shout out for that. But man, he just took to that like it was nothing. Oh, house? Now, whether you want to classify it as house or not, I don't, that's up to you. I liked everything about it. Excellent job, my man. Please keep it coming. All right, moving on to our man, B. Withers, a.k.a. Urban Audio Legend. His challenge from the man himself, Mr. Legacy. And the silly part about it is this is actually right up B's up his alley, up his lane, so to speak. Legacy challenged Legend to create an acid house track. If you don't know the term or the genre, look it up and let's see what B is going to do. B. Withers, aka Urban Audio Legend. Whoa. Man, as soon as the track came on, it took me back. I don't know if you saw the expression in my face, but it took me back to being in high school and just after high school, going to house parties and going to clubs for the first time, and they would bang that Detroit house, Detroit techno, Chicago house, just nastiness. And that took me back to that, man. Oh boy. Now I said that's right up B's alley. I actually haven't heard him make anything like that, but I know he has a huge appreciation and actually collects it. So it was like, oh, okay, I got this. Excellent job, dude. There was nothing wrong with that track. Even down to the mixing was excellent. That needs to be on somebody's turntable in somebody's deck right now with people on the dance floor. Yo, that is incredible. Excellent job. All right. Moving right along to yours truly. So I pulled Cricket Mystery Jazz. I love jazz. Jazz is my man. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I know exactly what he's going to do. So Jazz challenged me and sent me some reference material. Shout out to that. He challenged me to make uplifting UK rave, or as I saw it, drum and bass. Just uplifting, positive sounding drum and bass. Nothing dark, just kind of light and just uplifting. So I came up with this.
Unstoppable.
Yes, yours truly, Tashira Say, week number 41 challenge from CMJ. I had an incredible amount of fun making this track once I got it started. Now, I don't know if you've peeped the last one, but I've actually brought back my beat breakdown series, and I did week 39, my creation of week 39. So of course I'm going to be doing my creation of week 41, and I'm going to go in detail over there. But it took me a while to actually get things started. And once I did, I just kept adding stuff and kept doing stuff and tweaking and moving and it came up with that right there. So hopefully I did, as B Withers would call them, the UK contingent, as I'm hoping that I did them some justice and made them proud, because I really like what I did with that. More importantly, I feel good about it. I feel like it possibly could be on somebody's decks and they will bang it in a club or something like that. So thank you, JK, for giving me that. And now, moving on to the grand finale. It just always works out like this. Our man, your friend, my friend, the king of the Weekly Homework Podcast, Stephen G, who was challenged by Elliott. Oh, not only was he challenged by Elliott, Elliott challenged him to make a hip-hop beat using classic samples, like classical music samples. Keep in mind, this is Stephen G we talking about, so let's see what happens. Stephen Genius, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, that last part totally caught me off guard, as I'm pretty sure it did you. That was nuts. Excellent job. My only slight complaint is the middle section. The samples seemed a bit high, and I know that's the part of the song where there's the intensity comes up and it has a lot of energy, but the samples seemed a little high for the rest of the track. But honestly, I enjoyed that. I like how he flipped it. It's a Stephen G track, and it's almost, I can see Stephen G looking at the email like, hip hop track, classical samples, and there you have it. Excellent job, my man. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you the longest Weekly Homework Podcast ever, or at least to this date, and the most submissions we have had ever. It's only this is the third week in the second season, and we've already hit milestones. Damn, are we done? Yo, excellent job to everybody. Shout out to Stephen G, Urban Audio Legend, Elliott, the Hypnotist, Gold 007, Crooked Mystery Jazz, Willie Chill, 18th Dynasty, Mr. Legacy, Nelson Manzilla, Necromantis, Fields, Third Degree, and you for watching, listening, participating, encouraging, supporting, sharing our videos, and being a part of what we do every single week. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for watching this on our new Computer Music Academy channel and or the Computer Music Academy website. Now, if you know people who would enjoy this, bring them over here. Tell them to come subscribe, tell them to come to the site and be a part of it. To actually, be a part of watching it, and maybe, just maybe, it will inspire you. Shout out to the a nice amount of comments that we have received on both channels when we were on the old channel and now the new channel, of people saying, yo, what you guys do is really inspiring. I finished doing this and I go work on a track. Thank you for telling us that. That lets us know that we're actually doing what we want to do, and that's actually make better music and encourage others to do the same. So thank you for that. Thank all of you for being a part of what we do every single week. And if you would like to be a part of the community, be on the show, and actually make our podcast longer every week, come on over to computermusicacademy.com and join us. It is that simple. I am done talking for now because I have a lot of work. This is the longest podcast and I have a lot of work to do. So on that note, thank you for watching and we will talk to you next time. See ya.